back. This is A-Level Computer Science 9618 paper 2 part 3, and today in this video we are going to understand about 2D array and bubble sorting. Bubble sorting, 2D array, some linked list, queue, stack, and we will go through all of it, hopefully, if God wills. So right now we're going to start with 2D array. In the previous video we discussed about 1D array and how, and I show you guys, I just done some coding in 1D form. I just showed you how to do coding, and also I told you how to write in pseudocode. This is in pseudocode form, but I've also showed you in how to write in, like for example, this is 1D array. I have made an array, 1D array of integer, of type integer, and having a num 5. 5 means having an index from 0 to 5, so it's 0 to 5 index. Okay, but right now we're going to understand about 2D, so let me change this to, there you go. So right now I have the index. This is the 2D array. This is 2D array. Okay, having the index of row to row, having the index like this, 0 to 5 and 0 to 5. Okay, let me give an example. Okay, so this is 2D array. Okay, this is 2D array, and having a 2D array means having a square form like this, in this form. This is 2D, where you have the rows and you have the columns. So having row starting from 0, 1, 2, 3, and having a column starting from 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I have just make an initialization of 5, 5, 5. What if I try to, I could if I want, I could just to initialize like having 3 index in row and column. Okay, so starting from 0 to 3, 0, 1, 2, 3, and from columns starting from 0, 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so this is 2D array. We are trying to store values in 2D form. Okay, and if you want to try to, if you really want to try to write it in pseudocode form, then we will try to write down like this: declare num 0, 3 and 0, 3 comma 0, 3 of integer. Okay, so this is how you try to write it down in pseudocode form. Okay, this is how I try to write down in Visual Basic Code. See, this is VB. Alright, so let's move on. Let me show you how how do we let me show you how do we try to use this 2D. So I have so I've initialized this, I've declared this having an index of 5. Okay, 0 to 5, 0 to 5. Now let me try to initialize it. So for I is equals to 0 to, don't wait. So let me try to initialize this 2D array. So for j is equals to 5. Okay, so you have 2D array. For 2D array you got 2 loops. One loop will be used for a row, and second loop will be used for a column. Okay, so it means it would look something like this. For example, so okay, so this and this. For example, you have this 2D array, right? So for I is equals to 0 to, this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. it's going from row by row. Okay, it's changing from row to row. For example, if I is equal to 0, I is equal to 0, right? And now it will go to the second loop, j is equal to 0, then it will go down, j is equal to 1, then j is equal to 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, this loop has ended. Next, now I is incremented to 1. Now it will go to the second row, then 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, loop is we have get out from the loop. Then the second we have come to the second, and I is incremented to 2, then it comes to 2, and 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 0, 1, 2, 3, 5, 0, 1, 2, 3, 5, 0, 1, 2, 3, 5. So this is how I try to initialize this. So whenever we try to initialize 2D array, we always need two loops. We need two loops in order to access each row and column. Okay, so one loop is for the row, and the second loop is for the column. So let me complete my code. Let me try to initialize it. Okay, so it's going to be I j is equal to 0. Okay, in this way what I am doing here is I'm trying to so what I'm doing here is that I'm trying to accessing each index. Okay, I'm trying to accessing each index. First of all, for example, I is equal to 0, j is equal to 0. I have come to this index, it becomes 0. Then 1, it becomes 0. 2, it becomes 0. 3, it becomes 0, and so forth. Then come to the next row, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0. Then 2, 0, 0. So I'm accessing each row and column. Okay. So okay, so I have initialized this, and what happens if I try to print it out? Let me show you. I'm going to again copy this, and I'm going to just copy and paste. And now let me use console.writeLine console.writeLine. Okay, so there you go. Now let's see. Okay, so it's going to access each index row by row and column by column, and it will try to get the value. It will try to print the value. Let's see. So this is 2D or wait. Okay. Let me console.write, and then I'm going to do console.write. Okay, then going to the next part, and console.write line. Okay, now let's see again. There you go. So we have 0 to 5, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so 6 multiply 6, 36 index. So this is our 2D array. Okay, let me make it more simple. Okay, let's try again. Okay, so it has given an error. So what is the error? Let's see. Okay, there you go. So now let's see. There you go. So this is a 2D array. Okay, comp 5. Okay, so what are the advantage of using a 2D array? So when having a 2D array, we can make a chess game, or let me So having a 2D array, we can have matrices, we can work with matrices, matrix maths. We can do transformations, you know and we can make games like, uh, for example, we can have a chess game. Okay, we can have a chess game, or we can have a rat and maze. It can also be used in applied physics for stimulation, where it can be used in vector transformation. So I mean, there are so many applications of using a 2D, because we are going to two-dimensional, right? We are storing a value in two-dimensional. Having matrices, we can do multiplication or addition of matrices, we can do transformation of objects, doing animations. Okay, we can have a chess game of having a chessboard, and doing all the coding. We can have a rat and maze. Rat and maze means some, like, for example, you have blocks and you try to find the smallest path from start to bottom, start to end. Okay, so that's rat and maze. Applied physics, you are doing physics in it is also connected to vectors, right? Vectors in 2D dimensional, and also we can also do in 3D as well. Yeah, it could be possible. Yeah, definitely it must be possible. We can use in 2D, we can also do in 3D. Okay, if having a 3D array, I guess. But yeah, it is possible, to be honest. You will learn more about it, but for now we are in 2D. Okay, so this is 2D. This is the difference between 1D and 2D. It's not that difficult. Okay, so we have gone through 2D array. Now let's move on to, we have done with loops, and now we will come to bubble sort and linear search. Okay, so what is happening here? What is mean by bubble sort? Bubble sort means, for example, if you have an array like 25, 34, 98, you need to sort it in ascending. Okay, you can use this bubble sort, means you can sort it in ascending form or descending form. Okay, so right now I have just sort this in ascending form, 25, 34. Okay, there I have sorted in ascending form, 5, 7, 19, 25, 24, 41, 98. So now we need to understand this code. First of all, we try to make an array of 1D. Okay, we're going to make a 1D array having, we can choose any max index. Okay, and then we try to initialize it with, doesn't matter how many numbers they are. Okay, it could be 7, 8, 12, whatever. So you have these random numbers. Okay, so declaring a 1D array, having initialize it, then after that you are going into loops. So whenever we go through bubble sorting, we always try to use two loops. Okay, we can do with for loops, or we can just do with repeat and for loop, or while or for loop. Okay, so you can use this method or this method. Okay, right here I have used a repeat loop and then a for loop, and right here I have used two for loop. In your case, this would be the most easiest way to remember how it is working. And as for this is the most efficient way to run a program, because it wouldn't waste memory. For example, you have already sorted an array, but still the loop is still going on, so it's wasting memory. Okay, it's not that efficient. But right here I have put a boolean. For example, if sorting is possible, then found is equals to true. But if sorting is not possible, if it has already been sorted, then found is equal to false, and then until found is equals to false, or count is equals to max index. Either found is equals to false, it will come out from the loop, or count is equal to max index, it has reached to the max index. Okay, this is what it means. But in here, it's just, you just put a loop 2 times, and then you just try to using, going through putting the logic of bubble sort. So let's see what is happening here. Okay, Let's start from here. First of all, you have put two loops, right? You have done the initialization, you have done the declaring, you have done initialization, having an array. Okay, now you're starting. Okay, having the max index is 7. This is the max index x as 7. You got this array. Okay, so max index minus 1, max index minus 1. If index if index 1 is greater than index 2, for example, if 25 is greater than 34, then they will swap. But in this case, it is not greater. It is not greater. It is smaller. So it will just, it will pass this, since the if is, from here to here. So if this condition is false, then it will skip and then go to the next. It will increment. So index is equal to 2. Right now this is equal to, okay, it should be 0. Oh, wait, okay. So index must be, okay, in pseudocode form it is 1 to 5, but if I try to write it down in VB form, then it would be 0 to 0 to like okay, so there are 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. There are 7 elements, so having a max index as 7, but the index would run from 0 to 6 if I try to do it in VB form. But in pseudocode form, you will try to do like this, 1 to 5. Okay, okay, so you have from 1 to 4. Okay, the max index is 7, but right here it is 6, 1 to 6, 1 to 6. Starting from here, the index 1 is less than 30, it is less than, so it will move, it will increment. This is a condition. If the condition becomes 2, then this will run. Else this condition, if conditions fall, then it will just skip and then go to the next loop. Index become 2, so this is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. Index 1, okay, no. Now we have come to the index 2. If index 2 is greater than, no, it is not. Go to the next one. Okay, we have come to index 3. If index 3 is greater than, yes, it is greater than. Okay, if index 3 is greater than index 4, index plus 1, so 3 plus 1 becomes 4. Okay, if index 3 is greater than index 4, then found is equal to true. Okay, you don't need to write down. It's obviously I have just done a mistake. I have just tried to copy and paste, so you don't need to write down. Okay, if index 3 is greater than index 4, then we will use a temporary variable to store a value, which we will name it as temp. So we first try to declare temp as integer, and then we will try to use temp as a variable. And now what we need to do, first of all, we try to store this value 98 into temp. So temp is equal to 98. It will store the value 98. Okay, and then after storing a value 98, the the value inside index 3 will be overwrite by storing the value of index 4. So the value of index 4 comes here. It will come here. Okay, first we try to store this 98 in temp, and then 98 in place of 98 it will come 41. Okay, and then in the place of 41 it will come temp, and temp has the value 98. So this is how you have done the sorting. So sorting is done, and there you go, 41 and 98. Okay, array index is equal to index plus 1, index plus 1 is equal to temp, and there you go. This is the most critical part. This is bubble sort technique. Bubble sort technique or logic, you can call it. You're trying to swapping it. Swapping is taking place through this code. Swapping is done. Okay, so because of this code we have done the swapping, but it's been done one times. Okay, so now it's been swapped. Now it will increment, and now it will come to index 4. Is index 4 is greater than index 5? Yes. Now it will swap again, swap again. Now it will come to index 5 after doing incremented it. So 95 is greater than 5. Yes, yeah, it has done swapping. Okay, now what happens? What happens? The first, it has gone through the first loop. I mean, it has reached the maximum, which is 1 2 3 4 5 6. It has reached to 6, because it was 7 minus 1 is 6. It has reached 6, so it will come out from this loop. It will come here, and I becomes 2. I is equal to 2. Now it will go to the same process over and over again. It was the first pass. First pass is done. Now it will go to the second pass and do all of it again and again. Going to the second pass, this whole thing will be repeated 6 times. Second pass is done. Then going to the third pass, I it becomes 3. Repeat this 6 times again. Going to the going to the 4th pass, 5th pass, and 6th pass. Okay, so yeah, this is how you have done. You have finally get a sorted value, a sorted index in ascending form. Alright, but it could also be possible that instead of being sorted in pass 6, it could have been sorted in pass 3. It could be possible. And if, for example, if the array is already been sorted in pass 3, then why are we wasting our time to sort these remaining passes? So it would be a loss of memory. Instead, we need to make a more efficient code in order to make sure that it doesn't waste any more memory. So that's why we have used a boolean. Repeat found is equal to false. If swapping takes place, then found is equal to 2. Go again. Okay, keep on going until there's no more swapping. For example, okay, you are going through this loop, right? You are going through this loop, and after getting out, count is count plus 1 until count is equal to max index. For example, if it is the array is already been sorted in pass 3. Now if I try to sort this again, then index something is greater than index plus 1. No, because it's already been sorted, then found will remain false. It will it will complete the loop, and after getting out, it will get out by using this condition found is equal to false. It will get out. Okay, or for example, if the array will be sorted in pass 6 only, then it will be get out from this condition, either from this or from this. So it's a more efficient code than this, but for your own sake, I think it would be best if you try to memorize this, since you really want marks, right? And I think it's the most easiest code for you to remember it. Okay, so let's move on. So this was bubble sorting. So let me do the coding. Bubble sorting in front of you guys. So let me remove all of this. So first of all, I'm going to declare an array. Let's say num array of having an index of 5, or let's say 6. Okay, as integer. So I've declared it. Now I'm going to initialize it. So num array, so it's going to be let's say 25, 34, 98, then you have 7, 41, 19. So I have initialized this, and now I'm going to do bubble sorting. So let me use okay, without seeing this. Okay, I'm just going to do without that. For I'm going to use for I is equal to 0 to, okay, the reason why I'm starting with I, because whenever you try to do in Visual Basic, you will start with 1, but when you try to do in programming, the index will be starting from 0, always starting from 0. So that's the difference between pseudocode and Visual Basic. Don't try to confuse it, don't try to mix things up. Okay, so 0 to 6, it will be 0 to 6, but it's going to be -1, since obviously max index -1, I have to use that rule as well. Then I'm going to use a second loop as well, nested loop, you can call it this is nested loop. Okay, now I'm going to do, if for example num array having an index of j is greater than, okay, let me tell you another thing. If for example you're writing down num array greater than num array j plus 1, then using this logic it will try to sort the arrays in ascending form. This will help us to sort the array in ascending form. Okay, but if we try to, for example, write it down like num array j is less than num array j plus 1, then it will try to sort it down in descending order. So bear in mind, so whenever you have been asked about doing in descending form, you will try to do less than. Okay, and if you have been asked to do in ascending form, sorting the array in ascending form, then you will do greater. Okay, so I think you should write this down in your notebook. This is very important concept. So I have assumed that you have already written down. Okay, let's go. Okay, so this is greater than, you know what, let me just do some copy paste to save my time. So j plus 1, then if num j is greater than num j plus 1, then I will use a temporary variable temp as integer. So I'm using this variable, temporary variable, for temporary reasons. So temp will store the value of okay, so it will store the value, let me see. So let's think about it. If I'm having 2 box and there you have to store it down, right? So I'm going to save this value. Okay, I'm going to save this value, then it will come here. Okay, after coming here, and then the temp value will come here. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. This is perfect. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to num array j plus 1. So I'm going to store this value in temp. Then after that I'm going to do like this, is equal to num j equal to num j, and then I'm going to j is equal to temp, and that's it. I have sorted, I have used this condition, and finally our bubble sort is completed. So now let me see the result. So I'm going to, for printing, let's print. Okay, let me use a loop for I is equals to to, for I is equals to 0 to 7, no 6, 6, 6, it would be 0 to 6, and I'm going to print it out. Console dot write num array will be I. Will be that. Okay, so let's run it. And there you go. So our sorting is completed, has been successful. Okay, now let me show you something amazing. Let me make a procedure, or you can call it sub print, and then I'm going to just put in here. So this is a procedure, we will discuss this later. For now, just see this what's happening. Now I'm going to put this whole thing outside. So I'm going to put this outside. Then I think I should put it in here. I think it's fine. Okay, now let me show you how it is happening. So first of all, I'm going to call the print function, or you can call it procedure, print procedure. Okay, so it's going to give an output right here. Then okay, so sorting is done in here, and there's a loop. So after sorting is done, okay, oh wait, sorry, print, and then I'm going to write console dot write line pass. So it's going to be I, right? Yeah, it's going here, and I will come here. There should be a gap. First pass, second pass. Okay, console dot write line. Okay, now let me show you what's happening. So I'm going to run this, and there you go. Okay, I think I should console dot write line. There should be console dot write line in here. Console dot write line. There you go. Console dot write line. And now let's run it again. Okay. So first of all, I've just printed this print. It come here. Now it will go here. It will try to sort the first value, second value, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. After sorting it, it become then it would be known as the first pass. This is the first pass, even though it is 0, but in pseudocode it is first pass. First pass is done. Now it will go to the second, going through all of this process, and then this is the first pass. Then this is the second pass, the third, the fourth pass, the fifth pass, and finally our full version, the fifth pass. Okay, so this is the fifth pass. So this is how you are actually trying to. Okay, so this is what's happening here. So right now you have done the sorting, so 6 times going through each element, and then try to compare each indexes, from one to another. So you got the first pass. So now you can see here that 34 is greater than 7. There's still some sorting need to do, so that's why we have put an extra loop here. Now I hope you guys have understood that why did I put an extra loop, so that we could go through this until we get the result we wanted. Okay, we can do in this way, or we can just let me change this. I could just put in I can change this. I could put repeat, or in this case it would be do until, right? Do until, let me put until. Okay, okay, not like this. Do loop until okay, let me flag as boolean, dim flag as boolean, loop until flag is equal to false. Okay, right now flag is equal to false. From the start I just said flag is equal to false. Okay, now let's see. If this condition becomes true, then flag becomes true. Flag is equal to true. Okay, if only if this condition is becomes true, then it will become true. Okay, loop until flag is equal to false. Okay, and now let's say I'm going to use another variable, which is I, or maybe I can just use count as integer, dim count as integer. So right now count is equal to 0. Count is equal to 0. After going through this, I've done some changes. I put count is equal to -1, and this count is count plus 1. The reason why I've done this is because, consider this as count. Right now I've started from count is equal to 0. Okay, this would be the maximum minus 1. Okay, so max was there was 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. There were 7 numbers, but since we know that in Visual Basic it starts from 0 to 6. Okay, in VB it start, right now we have 7 numbers, right? This is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, but in VB it start from 0 to 6, and since 6 is the maximum number, so we will try to do like 6 minus 1, from 0 to 6 minus 1 in here, and in here as well 6 minus 1, and we will start from count is equal to 0. So right now it is -1, it becomes 0 after doing increment. So it's starting from 0 to this, and this is how it becomes successful bubble sorting. So you can do in this way, using the repeat until loop, and using a flag, false as a flag. And also I want to show you guys that okay, so this was the sorting was done after the fifth pass, but what happens if I try to increase the count number, for example doing 8 loops? Then let's see what happens. So in order to prevent any wastage of memory, being sorting, try to sort this doing unnecessary loop, the flag, using flag, it prevents you from doing that. So in the after the 6th pass it gives a false flag, because there wasn't any swapping being done. There wasn't an impossible reason to swap because it was already been swapped. Okay, so that's why it gives, instead of flag true, it gives flag is, it remained as flag is equal to false, and since flag was false, it came out from the loop. Okay, if we wouldn't have put this, then it will continuously keep on going until count is equal to 7, which was wasting our time and memory. So this is bubble sorting, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, so now let's move on to linear search. So this is our linear search, and what is telling, what is it really telling you? Linear search is something that it's okay, it's very easy. For example, you have been given an array and now you need to find a value. For example, you want to find a value 91 inside an array, so you'll go each row, I mean you will go in each index until you find the value 91. Okay, so checking each element of an array in turn for a required value. Start at the first element of the array and check each element in turn until the search value is found or the end of the array is reached and given the output that the value has not been found. Okay, this method is known as linear search, searching for a value. Linear means 1D. Okay, so you have initialized this, then you can do with repeat, or you can just do with a loop. So for index equals to 1 to max index, but if I try to do in VB, then it would be 0 to max index. Okay, so count is equal to count plus 1. Okay, so what's happening here? Okay, so I don't think that you need to. Okay, so this is a condition. Something's not right in here. Count is equal to 1 and count is equal to count plus 1. I don't think so. Shouldn't be this way. Okay, anyway, I might have done wrong. Count is equals to count plus 1 should come in here. So I will try to change this, don't worry. So again, count is to count plus 1 should come in here. Okay, so for index is equal to 1 to max index. I don't think that we should use count. There's no need. Okay, we can use count in here. Definitely we need to use, we can use count in here, but there's no need to use count in here. We can just use this directly. So it will be index. Okay, if array index is equal to search value, then output found true, the value has been found, else the value has not been found. So let me do the coding. Let me show you guys how it is working. Okay, and don't worry, I will try to change this. I will try to update this. So let's see what's happening here. Okay, so I have this index. Okay, let me remove this or not. I don't think so. For now, let's just give it a try. I only need one loop, so there's no need to do nested loops. Okay, now let's see here. First of all, I'm going to take an input. First of all I'm going to declare a variable search value, dim search value as integer. So the dim search value as integer. Okay, okay, so console dot write line, console or write line, enter the value that you want to search. Okay, enter the value that you want to search. Console dot that dot will come, console dot write line. enter the value that you want to search. So search value is equal to console.readline console.readline. Okay, so console.readline. Okay, and after getting it, so right now count is equal to 0. Let's put 0. If the array is num array, if num array having count, if num array count is equal to the search value, then what happens? Okay, what is search? And if I think should be and if. Okay, if num array count is equal to search value, then flag is equal to true. Flag is it, or you can just change to found as a flag. So found is equal to true, and then you will just try to give a message that console.write line the value has been found at, then you will try to give the location that where it has been found, and also the value, what value, the num array count. Okay, so this value has been found. You will again put n, and you will try to do it in this way. So the value this has been found at this. Okay, and if else, what happens if this not completed? What happens then? Else if, else if found is equal to false. Okay, what is this? If found is equal to false, then what happens? Console.write line, the value has not been found. Console.write line, the value has not been found. Okay, so the value has not been found. Do loop until, okay, what is the maximum? 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, which means going from 0 to 6 until count is equal to 6. Okay, if this condition becomes true, that will give this. Else, okay, you know what, let me remove this for now. Let me remove this. This would work fine. So it will keep on running until if flag, until found, until loop found until flag is equal to true. Yes, if we have found it, then it will come out from the loop. There's no need to do any more looping because it has already been found. Okay, that's why it will come out. But just in case it didn't found it and count becomes equal to 6, then we can just put the condition that if, for example, if found was false, then what happens? Then we will put this, the value has not been found. Sorry my friend, the value has not been found and something has been done wrong. Okay, so this is our linear search, so let's give it a try. let's say. Enter the value that you want to search. For example, if I wanted to search 5, I enter, then okay, it didn't give me anything. So why it didn't give me anything? Because my friend, I haven't put an increment. So count is equal to 0 and I haven't put an increment. Count is equal to count plus 1. Okay, now it will work. Putting 5 and you got the value has not been found. Okay, obviously we need to go from the last index, which is 6, right? So instead of doing this, I need to change this, right? Obviously count must be until count is greater than 7, I guess. So I need until count is greater than 7, or maybe until count is less than equal to until count is equal to 7. Yeah, now it will work. Obviously 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, but in VB it would be 0 1 2 3 4 5 6. So we need to go from 0 to 6 index. So after it okay, so this, supposing this was 6, and then it will become 7, and then it will came out from the loop. This time it will work for sure. Okay, now I'm putting 5 and voila, the value 5 has been found and at the index 6. Okay, now it's working. And since it is working, let me take a screenshot. I guess let me just take a screenshot, or wait, so this is the achievement I've got. So I'm going to take this whole thing coming from here. Okay, so this is linear sort, my friend. Save as linear search. Linear search. Okay, so I have saved this. Now let's run it again. Supposing if I put 19 or say 41, the value has been found at 4. 0 1 2 3 4. Okay, now for example, if I try to write down something that will not be found, for example 109, there is no such value in this index, in this array, and the value has not been found. Voila. Okay, so I have done this through loop until repeat until loop. Now let me try to do this in for loop. So for I is equal to 0 to 6, I is equal to 6, then I will just end this, and for 2 and 4. Yeah, okay, 4 to next, I guess, just forgot, 4 to next. Okay, so this is the loop for I is equal to 0 to 6, and there's no need for this as well. And okay, this can still be used. Yeah, this is still going to run. We remove this as well, don't need this as well. Okay, so end if, and any mistake, obviously I haven't put I in here. There you go. Now it will work. Obviously I need to access, I need to come here in order to keep incrementing it. So now it will definitely going to work, and I need to put I in here as well, and I in here as well. Okay, so I think everything will work completely normal and fine. So putting 5 and I will get this. The value 5 has been found at the index 6. Let's try again. Let's suppose if I put 98, 98, and the value 98 has been found at index 2, 0, 1, 2. For the supposing if I put 109 or 122 anything, the value has not been found. So this is another code. Let me just take a screenshot, I guess. This is another code. Okay, so this is it. This linear search 2, and I think this is the end for now. This was part 3. We have gone through 2D array, bubble sort, and linear search. We will go through this linked list, queue, stack, so many things, and then there are so many things right now. But still, I hope you guys have understood about bubble sorting and linear search. So thank you so much